In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. All praises due to Allah the Almighty, the Lord of the worlds. May Allah's peace, mercy and blessings be upon His final and last messenger, Muhammad. And may Allah's peace, mercy and blessings be upon each and every one of you, dear viewers, watching this new episode of your program, The Revelation. As a matter of fact, my dear viewers, the nobility of the individual stems from the nobility of what they believe in and what they stand up to and what they stand for. And it is for this we find our noble religion to always guide us and urge us to respect the truth and to love the truth and even to appreciate the truth in all circumstances. Nowadays, my dear viewers, and especially with the social media, it is easy for anyone just to share anything and for any post or for any tweet or any other form of the social media to go viral, and it would misinform and even misguide many and countless number of people. So this is why we need, like I said, to be cautious, because we see many things written by unknown people, just by an anonymous. It is written by someone who has a nickname, then a piece of news goes viral and people start to react towards it as a given fact, as a fact that's beyond doubt or beyond any question. This is why we need to be careful. And before jumping into making conclusions and making judgments, we need to question what comes our way. And that's through critically thinking about it and raising questions about it. And in this regard in particular, my dear viewers, we know what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told us in the Noble Quran. For instance, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, يا أيها الذين آمنوا إن جاءكم فاسق بنبأ فتبينوا أن تصيبوا قوما بجهالة فتصبحوا على ما فعلتم نادمين.
يا أيها الذين آمنوا إن جاءكم فاسق بنبأ فتبينوا أن تصيبوا قوما بجهالة فتصبحوا على ما فعلتم نادمين.
In the name of Allah, the Merciful, the Compassionate. O you who believe, if an immoral one comes to you with tidings, assess it carefully, lest you should harm a people without knowledge, and then become regretful for what you have done.
We clearly see, my dear viewers, that this is a noble guidance for the believers to seek the truth and to have a reality check before jumping into making conclusions or just before spreading or sharing or being accomplices, because in this case it will actually be an act of disobedience, especially when it comes to pieces of news that would defame some individuals or that would bring about hate, or when it comes to spreading unpleasant news that would lead to instability in the society and in the community. All of these things we need to be very careful, otherwise we are going to be accomplices to such immoral and such sinful things.
يا أيها الذين آمنوا إن جاءكم فاسق بنبأ فتبينوا أن تصيبوا قوما بجهالة فتصبحوا على ما فعلتم نادمين.
In the name of Allah, the Merciful, the Compassionate. O you who believe, if an immoral one comes to you with tidings, assess it carefully, lest you should harm a people without knowledge, and then become regretful for what you have done.
Here, it doesn't matter because some people would say, no, it is just a social media. It is not like when we deal face to face in real life. No, even if it's something virtual, we still know that it could have ramifications, it could have repercussions, and we have seen this through numerous and even countless life experiences that the use of today's technologies has led to many incidents that had unpleasant endings. Number two, my dear viewers, is the fact that we need to always be critical as to the source of a particular story or a particular piece of news or a statement. Who is the one? Who is the source for this? Who are the people who narrated this? And most importantly, not to hasten to spreading or sharing such piece of news without making sure that this is something which is reliable, something from a trustworthy source. And of course, in this regard in particular, the Prophet ﷺ is authentically narrated to have said, كَفَى بِالْمَرْءِ إِثْمًا أَنْ يُحَدِّثَ بِكُلِّ مَا سَمِعَ. That's, it is of a major sin for the individual to just repeat and to spread every word, everything that falls into their ears. So this is why we need to be careful as to what we are going to spread and what we are going to circulate when it comes to our communities and our societies, and when it comes even on a global scale by large. Number three here, my dear viewers, is the fact that with all the great multitude of pieces of information and statements and stories being narrated and circulated in our day-to-day life, as a matter of fact, real life experience, as a matter of fact, even countless number of real life experiences have shown us that we cannot actually take literally everything that we come across. So this is why always we need to be careful. And even in the way how we convey, we always need to make sure that we don't narrate something as a given fact unless we are 100% sure that this is how it was really said, or this is actually what took place. With that being said, my dear viewers, a very important thing also to consider and to really think about is the fact that the more odd, the more unfamiliar a story seems to be, as a matter of fact, this is more of an indication that we need to really check and to closely examine the piece of news that we come across, or the piece of information or a statement or a story. Because like I said, this is also more of an indication that it could contain exaggerations or misinformation. So this is why also the more odd and the more unfamiliar the story is, the more this is of a reason for us to be truth seekers.
يا أيها الذين آمنوا إن جاءكم فاسق بنبأ فتبينوا أن تصيبوا قوما بجهالة فتصبحوا على ما فعلتم نادمين.
In the name of Allah, the Merciful, the Compassionate. O you who believe, if an immoral one comes to you with tidings, assess it carefully, lest you should harm a people without knowledge, and then become regretful for what you have done.
Finally, my dear viewers, it is also of a paramount importance to develop the habit of not to rush into judgments and not to rush into making conclusions before a story is fully completed, before a statement is completely over. Because it could be something written and the writer himself or herself has divided the story or his opinion or his narrative into pieces or episodes, like also in the media when it comes to a video material. So we need to be patient and we need to be calm, to be truth seeker, like I have been always saying, in order to make sure that we really got the full point of the source. This is how we really become more even professional and more ethical in the way how we deal with the sources of information. As a matter of fact, my dear viewers, this is all the time that we have for today's episode. Still, of course, there is more to share about this very important topic, and of course, the ultimate conclusion that we can draw from today's episode is the fact that we need to be truth seekers, and this should be a way of life for us on all aspects of our life. Thank you so much for your time and for watching this episode. You are most welcome to join us through our Facebook official page, through sending us your feedback, your suggestions, your comments, your questions. All of them are always most welcome. Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.